Hi everyone, welcome back to Live Darts. We're joined by the 3 times Lakeside champion Glen Durrant. Glen, we're going to go on a bit of a trip down memory lane and build up to the William Hill World Darts Championship. First of all, can you remember your first darting memory that sticks in your mind from watching as a youngster?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a darts fan, but the 1989 final with Jockey Wilson at Eric Bristow, at 19 I was sort of county youth, and I was playing darts pretty regularly there, and that was a game you were either a Jockey fan or a Bristow fan where we live. So for them two to be in the final, Jockey raced it to something like a 5-0 lead. I think Bristow pulled it right back, and I think that's my first memory. And I remember getting on the Lakeside stage thinking, wow, Wilson and Bristow, people like that have been on that stage.
Did you play darts as a kid? Is it in your family? Because we speak to a lot of players and it's sort of like in their blood from a young age.
Yeah, my brother Andy was a very, very good player. I've just done an exhibition on Wednesday night, and he got terrible dartitis, but he was a superb player, and he loved it on Wednesday night. We released his darts fine. So I'm from the workingman's background, so I was a century billiards player, and billiards is where there's 3 balls on the 12-foot snooker table, cannons in and offs. And I was drafted in to play darts one night, and I'd never had a feeling of billiards like I had when I won the game of darts there. So yes, it was in the blood.
Did you play as a kid at all, like a lot of players?
I was British teenage runner-up as part of the Cleveland team in 1986. I was far from the best. We had a great team. And I remember hitting a winning double of double 11 in the semi-finals, but so that was sort of my earliest recollection of then. But I was far from a top player. When you see some of these 16, 17, 18-year-olds now, I was far from that. But I didn't play age 29. I met Susan. Amy was born when I was 22. And most of my nights was working on a karaoke to make ends meet. So it was only when I got finished on the karaoke and a chance meeting with a guy called Albie Crane, who was my Super League captain when I was a teenager. And then between the ages of 29 and 34, I was doing 5, 6, 7 hours a day.
Again, looking back, obviously we know you were in housing for all your life until recently. When you were sat there at a young age, did you ever imagine playing on the biggest stage as possible?
At 41 I didn't. At 41-year-old, I decided to give the BDO a go. We created these things called the Teesside ranking events. And I'm so grateful to a guy called Colin Foxton who built 6 dart easels. I knocked on every pub and club door in Teesside, and we created something fantastic. I remember the Teesside Open in Riley's one year was 386 people in it. So we really hit the heights, and I dominated it. I went to Northumberland and took on the real big boys in the northeast. And when you're winning in Newcastle and County Durham, you're doing something really well. So age 41. I would never have thought I would be a world master, a BDO world champion, and now treading the boards in the PDC.
Again, when you're working in your office doing your housing, was Lakeside always something you watched it just after Christmas every year? Yeah,
I had a conversation this morning. It's going to be strange not being at the Lakeside this year. Times have changed. The BDO have moved to the O2, etc. But it was a fundamental part of my year. Playing, but it was like 1 week of the year. For me, that's what the BDO was all about. I've been quite candid at, even in the World Masters final last year against Adam Smith-Neil, 2-0 up. My mind wandered, didn't want to be there. So it's, the whole focus of me was all around Lakeside, and for 1 week of the year, it came to the forefront.
So behind Glen Durrant, the dart player, who is Glen? Because we see you quite a confident man on stage, striking and stuff. Is that you away from
No, I'm a very shy man, very family orientated, hard working, great values. My mother and father brought me up well. There's I've got a big family. Hence the reason you'll see all the support and all the defence I get on live darts. Every one of them have had a message saying, "Don't respond to the haters. Just that's what social media is about." I've signed up for that. So we're a very protective family, and I think when you're from Middlesbrough, whether you're from Sunderland or Newcastle, you're very proud and passionate about the area. And I wore the red and white, colours with pride in the video. Quiet man. Family comes first. My daughter's my priority in my life. Susan's. We've been together 30 years this year, so just good values. Was brought up well. They tell me I lived in the roughest part of the country. I remember Channel 4 doing a documentary saying the area I lived in, Grangetown, was the worst place to live in Britain. But for me, it was home. Very much come from a council background, and all my family are very, very proud of what I've achieved.
Obviously, you play in front of millions of people on TV, but back home in Middlesbrough, are you still Glenn? Can you walk down the street?
Yeah, it's funny. If I go in Marks and Spencer's, no one will recognise me. But if I go in the oldies and things like that, I do get recognised there. But I'm the kind of guy who'll sort of turn around and then go, "Oh, mate, you talk," becoming a personality in Middlesbrough, and people who want to come and shake your hand, it hasn't come easy to me because it's a strange environment, but it's nice. It's very, very nice. I'm super proud to be a Smoggy and part of the Parmo Army, which they're all calling me now. Middlesbrough Football Club, etc., look after me really well. So it is fair to say that people in Middlesbrough know who I am.
Obviously, you said about being a close-knit family, very tight. How have Susan and Amy taken to your almost stardom in the darting world? Being obviously, like you say, you're recognised. What do they think of it all?
Well, Susan, when I met her, her brother Peter Richardson was an Olympic quarter-finalist at boxing and a Commonwealth gold medalist. So I was hardly going to really impress her by winning the Eston Open or the Teesside Open at dart. She's very, very grounded. It's no surprise that when she's there, I do well in tournaments. If you something like 60-70%, 6 in every 10 tournaments I've played when Susan's there, I win. So that sort of sums up her personality. She doesn't do social media. She hates the fact, why would you put that picture on? Just makes you look stupid. I bought a new car last week. Straight away I put it on Facebook because I'm a social media geek, and she was like, "Why would you do that? It's coming to Christmas. Some people don't have any money, Glenn. You're just rubbing it in people's faces there. It just makes you look stupid." So behind every great man and all that, she's pretty amazing that way. Amy's got a fantastic personality, very good socially. She did well at school. She's getting married now, and she's really independent. So I'm very, very proud of the way she's turning out.
Again, looking back, if you were to give darts up, would you be happy just to go back to Middlesbrough and not look at anything again, social media, and just be Glenn again?
Yeah, I think housing's always in my blood, and I don't need to work no more now. I haven't spent big with my lakeside wins. I paid my taxes and did everything right, and was able to help my daughter get on the property ladder, etc. So financially, I'm fine for, I guess, the rest of my life. I have a pension coming when I'm 55, so I've done everything sort of correct. I didn't go wild there, so it's nice, being a professional dart player, but it's not as glamorous as I thought it was going to be. I find hotel life and time really difficult, but you're talking to me where I'm with Dennis this week, I'm with Susan this week, and that makes it a lot easier.
Again, we're going to touch on your switch to the PDC now. When that decision was made internally between you and your family, could you have ever imagined that you're going to Alexandra Palace as a seed?
No. I mean, in housing, we always set targets, and if I was doing a summary of, I've totally exceeded my expectations, and I'd probably, if I was working, I'd be due a bonus this year. It's gone incredibly well. I can't help but look back at the match play with just real regard. It was a tremendous week, and that was up there with the feelings I had at Lakeside. It's been pretty special. I love the Pro Tours. It's an hour from my house. When I'd done the German Pro Tour, it was tough. Max Hopp said, he's doing that 30 weekends a year. So I'm very lucky that Barnsley's an hour from my house, and I think that helps. I definitely must do better. Would be my school report on the Euros. And historically, even the BDO, I didn't play my best darts in Europe, Belgium, Holland, etc. And that's something I'm working on. I think that's where hopefully I can get Dennis to travel more, if I can get Susan to travel more, and that's all been planned. Every tournament I did this year, I wrote things down. What's the hotel? Would Susan like it? Would Dennis enjoy this? Could I bring, other people around me? Because I guess I'm not great on my own. And Mac Elkin has a team of 6-7 people. I can't expect his time 100%. So. Year 2 is going to be, just always learning. Year 2, I'm looking to do even better.
Heading down the M1 at Christmas, have you planned your journey from your house to Ali Pali in your head?
Yeah, I have. I was a little bit nervous because I don't like driving, and down south's a different breed. Up north, there's only about 20 cars in Middlesbrough. It's a bit different to going down there. But literally, it's straight down the M1. You come off the M1, and Mac takes over from there. So that's going to be really, really sort of exciting. And the feeling I got when I went to Watford Gap on my way down to Lakeside, we always stopped there. So I'm hoping to create lots of new memories now at the iconic Ali Pali.
You drive up that hill for the first time heading towards the Palace. What's that going to be like?
I hope it's not the day I'm playing. I would love to think I can go and watch a couple of games first of all, or watch a game just so I can acclimatise and get used to it. But I don't know about any hill. I don't know what it looks like yet. I'm going there as a real novice, and I'm super excited now. The moment the match play finished, my thoughts then turned to Ali Pali.
Just to give you a bit of an insight, obviously Lakeside's tucked away, but Ali Pali you can see it's on the top of the biggest hill at Muswell Hill in North London. Yeah. It can be seen for miles away, and as you pull up to it, it's just this big hill, and it's just sat on top of the hill.
No, I didn't know that, so I remember them words, Phil. I remember Saturday now when you tell me when I see it for the first time, but no, I'm going into it blind.
Is there some nerves about going there for the first time as well?
Just excitement and trepidation. Like the 2 hours before you play is a really difficult time for me as a dart player. I'm not sure what the others think, but I'm okay these days with nerves. My hand was shaking in my match last night. It was, so even now, but going on at 10:30, 11:15 never ever suits me. I love an afternoon session and things like that. So they're the kind of things I've got to get used to and plan my days there. So nerves are good. It's a bit like a boxer being a dart player. Once you get punched in the nose, your nerves go. Once you lose a leg, a lot of your nerves go, and that's my philosophy.
Do you feel the target has now gone off your back as well? We're obviously approaching Christmas, year 1's nearly over. At the start of the year, I remember you saying that there was very much a target on your back being Glen Durrant, the 3 times Lakeside champion. Do you feel that's now gone?
Yeah, walking into Q School was, I think it's been mentioned many times, there was a match against Barry Bates where 3/4 of the people in Wigan were watching that one game. My first Pro Tour, I sensed walking in, oh here he is, 3-time BDO, let's see what you're made of type thing. But quite quickly I just remember, it was morning Glen, and you begin to build relationships with people. But the real moment for me is when I played Simon Whitlock, and we were 1 each, Pro Tour, board 6, sat in the corner, turned around and not one person was watching, and I thought, great. And now I've been accepted. None of that I'm going to go and say, how's he doing, let's see what all that's gone now. I think I've shown people that them 3 BDO world titles mean something now. But I would like to put a TV tournament in the PDC. I'd like to do a Euro tournament and get on the winning rostrum. That's my next target.
Again, would you consider the top 16 a massive achievement, or do you want more than that within year 2?
No, I would say it's a massive achievement, but I was talking to Rob Cross last night, and he thinks top 8's there to be done, and just keep believing that, for Premier Leagues and World Series and whatever. But I think in January I would have took top 16. But if you double my income now, and add it on to next year, if that makes sense, I think I'll be close to top 10. So if I continue doing what I'm doing now, I'm going to be up there in the upper echelon of the PDC, and that's a nice feeling. I also know that I don't have time on my side. I've given myself 5, 6, 7 year plan, and my eyesight's not great now. I feel my bones after the game last night, and things are a little bit different. But I'm managing my expectations really well.
You're talking about your timeline of how long you want to play for. Will you go still at the top, or whilst you're still at the top competing, will you stay maybe longer than 5 years, or when that's up, will you just go, I'm done now with the sport?
Yeah, I've always set the plan at 55. I really want to finish darts. I'll have been in the game, close to 20 years then, and I want to do other things. I have the bucket list. I want to go to the Wimbledon final. I want to go to the FA Cup final. I want to go to Aintree. I want to go to Monte Carlo for the F1. So they're the kind of things that I want to do. So it would be tough walking away, especially the money that's in the PDC now. It's like 15 million quid up for grabs next year. It's just a different league. I've never ever been this happy in all my life. The transition from leaving housing to going to darts was quite difficult for a month. I couldn't envisage going back to doing an office job now. I'm absolutely, as I've said, I wouldn't say it again, so this is the last time I'm ever going to say it, but I am living the dream. But you'll never hear me say that again.
Are you slightly worried the way the PDC rankings work, that obviously the first 2 years are almost a free shot at glory for yourself? Is there a worry that then you have to come and defend that money, the pressure hikes? Is that something you've thought about?
Yeah, I have. I guess the mock exam is that I'm defending Pro Tour money weeks 1 and 2 in February in preparation of the Euros next year. So, and there's always that second year syndrome where I've had a great first year. Am I going to back that up? All that's in my mind. But I'm the type of person that if my form dips, I'll go back and I'll work harder. I'll find answers to the problems. And I've got 1 or 2 issues right now. The Grand Prix, I got the semis, but I was far from happy with the way I played. I'm in the last 16 of the Grand Slam. I'm lucky to be in the last 16 of the Grand Slam. If when people have match darts to beat you, and for me, one of the best players in the world right now averages 86 against you. So I've certainly got a little bit of luck on my side, and I would rather be banging the 100 averages like I was at the Pro Tour a couple of months ago. So it just makes me more determined, and I'll go back and I'll work hard to rectify them problems.
When we spoke at Lakeside nearly a year ago, you were looking forward to pitting your wits against Michael van Gogh and to see how good he was, because you'd heard everything from everyone. Now you're 2-0 against the big green machine. What's it like to play against him, and how good is he in comparison to everyone else?
That's a good question, and I think what I said at Lakeside also is I want to see how good I was. Am I a top 64 player? Am I a top 32 player? I just wanted to be respected, was what I said as well. It's pretty awesome playing Van Gerwen, but the funny story about Blackpool was I was that obsessed with it. I'd got sunstroke that day, and I forgot I was playing him basically, because I just thought I'm going to look like a right lemon on the telly. I mean, I was a beetroot. I mean, I was absolutely red raw. So any nerves I had about playing him were sort of offset with this worry of how stupid I was looking. I played him in an exhibition prior to match play and got a feeling of how good he was there. And the Grand Prix is hard as a parallel because that double off, etc. I think he's the second best player ever. You're talking to Phil Taylor's biggest fan here, so it would be some statement for me to say he's the greatest ever. I don't know if he's as good as he was 12 months ago. Motivation. I mean, that was similar in the BDO when you're dominating an organisation. It's sometimes the continue winning and winning takes an awful lot to do. But I've said he's the best player in the world, and when he wants to win, he will win.
Again, looking beyond this as well, what's for Glen after life in darts?
Yeah, so I've got the bucket list. I really want to. I mean, my wife loves holidays as well. There's things I'd like to do. Volunteering. I love charity work. We had a really fantastic night. I'm an ambassador for the Heart of Darts, doing quite a bit with prostate cancer. So there's lots of things out there, but I would mind some fresh air. Like go walking and just them sort of things that. When you're involved in darts, it's not the healthiest lifestyle, and I'd like to maybe do something like that. run a half marathon, set challenges. That's I love to swim, I love to walk, I love to do that, and I just don't get them chances. I'm just in hotels, and I get inspired watching Chris Mason. The way he is right now. I listened to his interview with you, and I thought his last 5 minutes of it was. I watched it twice because it is important what engine, what petrol you're putting in your engine, and I can't keep putting parmos and kebabs in there because I'll run tired when I get onto a stage, and I feel quite sluggish at the moment. I'm a lot heavier than I want to be, but that's going to be all part and parcel of what year two's all about. I ain't going to go and lose a dramatic loads of weight, but I'm going to definitely spend an hour a day in the gym. That's definitely, when we talk about setting targets, that's something I'm definitely going to be doing next year.
When you do walk away from professional darts, will you walk away from all darts, or will the darts always be in Glen Durrant's life?
Yeah, I think it'll always be there. I definitely would love to do something with Cleveland Youth, Tyne and Weir Youth, Durham Youth. I've done a little bit with Jason Bourne, and I help get the shirts for Cleveland Youth and things like that. And I don't do enough for them. I'm sure they'll look at me as a role model, as a mentor, and I'm not doing enough because I just don't have the time. So I'd love to do a little bit of commentary. There's all them types of things there. So, but right at this moment, I feel I'm playing the best darts of my life, and so there's no thoughts in my head of retirement. That 5 to 7 years seems like an age away. Just so excited for the future.
Glenn, it's an absolute pleasure sitting down and talking during the build-up to the William Hill World Darts Championship. Thank you very much for your time and honesty as always, mate.
Thank you so much. Thank you.